Peyton Fenwick and Scott Schultz are with the Kansas Sentencing Commission, and they're training attorneys all over the state on the new KSApp for submission of journal entries and communication with the courts and other parties. And they're presenting to us today, and they're also going to present to us next Thursday for anyone who wasn't able to join today, same presentation, so that we can all get familiar with this. So I'll let you both take it away. Thank you.
Very good. Crystal, thank you so much. And thank you for those of you joining us here over the lunch hour. I know that time slot's kind of valuable, but we very much appreciate an opportunity to talk with BIDS attorneys and help them in something that has been going on, but also that will be upcoming, and that is the Kansas Sentencing App. So my name is Scott Schultz. I am the Executive Director for the Kansas Sentencing Commission here in Topeka. Have been in that position for over 14 years. Prior to that, I practiced doing trial work as well as appellate work as prosecutor as well as defense counsel. So I've seen a few things all over the state with regard to the sentencing guidelines. In fact, to date myself, I started practicing in 1993 when the guidelines were actually passed. So time, Minnesota and Washington and Oregon had been leaders in sentencing guidelines, and that's kind of where we took our lead from in terms of how to do the guidelines. And so since that time, it has come full circle as far as now, 33 years that we've been using the guidelines, pretty ubiquitous at this point. And so I just kind of wanted to give a little bit of background in terms of, as many of you know, the commission is a 17-member panel made up of everyone that is in the criminal justice space, from the Secretary of Corrections, Prisoner Review Board. We have a couple district court judges, as well as an appellate court judge, as well as the BIDS representative, Jessica Glendenning, who represents BIDS on the commission. And that is, we have prosecutors, we have other attorneys, and then we have probation in the form of CSOs and community corrections, and then a couple of public members. And so everybody's at the table. We meet monthly with commission meetings to go over the guidelines and other criminal justice matters. And so we do have meetings that are online. So if you're ever interested, please contact our office, and we can actually get you on the list to do that. And I know that all of you are very busy with your practice, but just wanted to let you or avail you of those situations. The Kansas sentencing application. This is one of those things that we have been the forms have been out there since the guidelines were passed. And for those of you old enough to remember that, we used to have old prose documents that are similar to misdemeanor journal entries that you had to hunt and peck through to find what happened to everybody, defendant or otherwise. The guidelines changed that, and so the document turned into what it is today. And so not only does it memorialize what happened during those various stages, whether it be PSI, sentencing, or probation revocation, but it also is a data collection tool for the Sentencing Commission. And so we collect and are allowed by statute to collect all of that felony sentencing data. That all acts as a funnel to come in to us. And then we utilize all that data for things such as the legislative session, that if bills are introduced, we can actually estimate prison bed space impacts and those type of things. We also do Department of Correction prison population projections with that data for the Department of Corrections, as well as the legislature and the governor's office. So it all has a purpose on the back side. We're going to be talking today about the front side, front lines, boots on the ground, where you guys are at, to show you that we have a solution that the commission has adopted and has been working for quite some time, that allows for a more streamlined approach to these particular forms. And as you know, the commission is required by statute to maintain the PSI, the journal entry, and the probation violation journal entry. And we tweak those based upon legislative action by court appellate court interpretations every year as things happen. And so you can actually see those changes that are made every year on the website, but obviously those forms change every year. That was a challenge that we had going into this particular project. And so several years ago, we had been trying for over, I wasn't involved obviously with it, but the commission had been trying for almost 25 years to put this in electronic form. And there had been a lot of struggles. Some of that was with participants, some of it was funding. We finally had an opportunity several years ago to be able to get a DOJ grant that allowed us to have the startup funds so that we could go ahead and start building from the ground up a application. That has since become the electronic journal entry project, which has turned into aptly named the Kansas Sentencing App or KSApp. So what you're going to see today is what the workflow is, how it actually works from start to finish, and just a little bit background about the company that we or the vendor that we're using. Domo Incorporated is a company out of Salt Lake City. It actually is a NASDAQ listed software development company, very strong partner. We also partner with them on the dashboards that we utilize using the data from sentencing data. We have dashboards. If we have a little time, we'll have we might be able to show you some of those, and we'd encourage you to use those since those are on our website. So we have been doing trainings on the KSApp for many months now to all practitioners, CSOs, prosecutors, the defense bar, and judges. This has been ongoing. We had a soft launch of the application back on October of 2024. And so it has been in use for quite some time. We have over 1,200 users in the system, and they have provided a fantastic product. As a result of doing, we did at least 3 pilots. We received and continue to receive excellent feedback from the users that are already in the system. And as a result of that, we've put in over 40 different updates to the software already. And so as you can see from this particular slide, this kind of gives you a little flavor of what we were actually wanting to do. And the criteria that we were looking at was twofold. That was, one, we wanted to make it easy for the user as possible, so that it was something that you're used to seeing, but it's in an electronic form. And we think we've done that. All of the inputs that are done result in the same forms that you file with the court all the time, as far as the journal entry and the probation violation journal entries. The second item was that we wanted to streamline this process even more through the use of electronic signatures. And this makes the process that much easier. Obviously, it's being used, DocuSign, whatever you want to call it, to make it easier. Instead of dropping hard copies in some type of slot at the clerk's office for you to pick up, or emailing it back and forth, this just makes that process even easier. The interaction between, there's email notifications. It can actually go back and forth as Peyton will show you, but it streamlines that process, but it also keeps it in electronic form, which then is, once it reaches you and is approved, it goes to the court. And so we are 75% of that. I think we could probably go to, well, you're still on that. So 75% of that data, as you know, in the PSI transfers over to the journal entry. And so rather than having that arduous process of having to recreate that every single time, the information from the PSI, once the court service officer creates that PSI in the KSApp, it will automatically migrate all that data over to the journal entry for the prosecutor. So all they're going to have to put in is what happened at the sentencing hearing. This obviously saves a huge amount of time, but just that allows then for time savings. So that you know, and then again, this is more CSO related, but as you know, there is a public version and a confidential version of the PSI. We have made provisions for that so that they submit and attach all of that to and all of that to the PSI, and then they designate all of the journal entries, the psychological reports, anything else, either confidential or public. And so when those are filed, one gets filed in the public, one gets filed in the confidential that counsel can see. That is required, obviously, by statute. So we've made a lot of good changes in there. The Again, more savings are actually occurring in the criminal history worksheet. As you can see on the last point on the slide there, one of the things obviously that kind of bogs things down a little bit with the PSI is the criminal history worksheet, because as you know, some of your clients can have extensive criminal histories. We actually have jumped into the 21st century and are using generative AI to actually, for those old scanned PSIs, they can actually be placed in the system, and it will scan it and be able to place it into the system using that generative AI. And so those with fairly lengthy criminal histories, it makes it a whole lot easier for those CSOs to get that in and placed into the criminal history worksheet. And once that's done, then of course it can be pulled up again and again if you have clients that come back to visit again. So that is, I think we could probably go to the next slide, Peyton. Um, So this is the general workflow. I've already kind of discussed that a little bit, but the CSOs, we've done a lot of training with them because obviously they start the process, and that's, you know, they have to get it right. And as we see a lot of times, if the PSI isn't right, journal entry isn't right either. And so keep in mind that once they produce the PSI, they submit it, and then it goes to the prosecutor, and it's ready for journal entry. At that particular time, then sentencing occurs, prosecutor fills it out, it's submitted then to you for your approval. Now, say that you don't like what the prosecutor put on there, or they missed something. You can send it back through the system very easily, and they're notified that you're not approving it. And they can make those changes, or you guys can confer as you normally do, and then it gets kicked back to you. If it's all good, you submit it, and it's ready for filing. So this is again, a process that can be done on the journal entry. It also can be done on the probation violation journal entry very easily, because that's kind of the fundamental process that we wanted to bake into the product. At any time, then we are currently working as kind of the last piece of this is to seamlessly integrate this into the e-file system. And so that once that you would approve this, it automatically would then go into the e-file system, which would then end up in the judge's queue like it normally does right now. So we actually have a meeting here later on this afternoon that we'll be finishing that up with their vendor And that will be they'll be rolled out hopefully here in the coming weeks. So so in essence, you'll be creating that within the case app. It will automatically be going and getting filed, so that you can actually then you'll know it's filed with the court. And we had originally tried to get the judges to be involved in the KSAP process. They wanted to stay within their queue, and so we've rearranged the workflow to actually accommodate that, and I think it's going to work very, very well. So the I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Peyton. At this point, Peyton is our research analyst. She also is our team lead as far as the case app is concerned. Anything and everything that is the case app, she gets questions all the time and provides technical support. We work with the team at Domo daily on making sure that this product is going to be easy for all practitioners to use. I've been there before. I've been having to fill out the journal entries, or the staff have been filling out the journal entries on my behalf. And I know we want to make it as easy as possible to be able to utilize the system and so that you can get your work done. And this is one of those few things that can be done. More efficiencies means less continuances, and hopefully better case management for you and your coworkers. So with that, I'll turn it over to Peyton, and thank you again for letting us present today.
Thank you, Scott, for providing the introduction and the background. As Scott said, I'm the research analyst at the Kansas Sentencing Commission, and I'm the kind of the point person for anything Domo or the KSApp. I started about a year ago, almost a year ago now, which feels crazy. And I just jumped right into anything KSApp right at the beginning. So I'm pretty familiar with it at this point. There are also still things coming up that I'm learning that are changing with the app, which is the great thing about working with Domo. They're so responsive, so I am constantly emailing Domo about the case app or any fixes we want to make, and they've been great. So with that being said, I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to show you, in this case, I'm prosecutor, judge, and defense counsel, just to give you a full, well-rounded look at how it works from PSI to journal entry. So this is the main page of the app. This is what it's going to look like when you first log in, and there'll be an email. My email is at the end of this slideshow, so if you need to get an account started, just shoot me an email and I can get an account started really fast and walk you through that process as well. But you're going to type in your county first to find any cases. It's going to automatically pop up with the first two letters of, or sometimes three, the first abbreviation of your county and 20, and then you can just type in the rest, or you can copy and paste too if you have it from an email, which I'll show you an example of what it looks like when you get an email when a case is ready for your review in a second. But you're going to search, and it's going to pop up with this as your main page of the case. You can always download, as Scott said, either version of the PSI if you're wanting to view it. Here's an example of what that looks like when you download the PSI. And as you can see, it's exactly the form from before. The only thing that changes with the KSApp's implementation is how you fill out the app. So the form hasn't changed at all. We make yearly updates, as Scott said. The only thing that changes is the completion process of the form. So here's an example, looks exactly the same. And as Scott said, you can download the public version as well if you're wanting to view that, and it's going to take that page, the confidential page out, so you're not breaking any laws, basically. And I'll pull that up as well. So that page is missing around this area. So you can jump in. This is the prosecutor side. I just wanted to show you the process of their side. I've mostly filled out the journal entry already, so we don't have to walk through that process, because I know that wouldn't be very much fun watching me fill out a journal entry that doesn't exist. So it's well, I was already filled out. I was going to show you a question that hadn't been filled out, but I already did it. But this is already all filled out. It looks exactly the same. As before, once you download it, it's just, again, filling it out, the changes. When a prosecutor is ready to change or ready to submit it, they can just hit that submit button and it's going to pop up. Obviously, I'm not an attorney, so that's my number, my name, address, phone number, email, and then it'll have your signature block here, which will automatically insert into the completed journal entry, which I'll show you at the end as well. If you're wanting to send a note when you complete it, and on the defense counsel side, it's the same. This all looks the same on the defense counsel side, which I'll show you. You can leave a note, and it'll say it in the body of the email notification you get when a journal entry is ready to review. So whatever you want to say, if you don't want to say anything, that's fine too. But if that is your liking, that is totally possible. And I'm going to go ahead and submit it. And it's going to say now I'm still in the prosecutor account, but it's now going to say that it's in progress by the defense counsel. I'm going to jump out of my prosecutor account and jump into my defense counsel account. So just give me 1 second and then I'll show you. And I think this is, I can't see past that. What does that say? Yeah. So this is an example of what an email will look like when your journal entry is ready for review. It's just going to have the title of the form, obviously the county, and then your case number. If you're wanting to click, this is a different journal entry, so I'm not going to click, but if you're wanting to click the link, it'll take you straight to the journal entry. Sometimes it'll make you log in again. It just depends on if you're already signed in on another tab. Or you can I just prefer to copy and paste it. So you can just copy that case number, go right back to the main page of the app and paste it into that case number. And so now I'm in my defense counsel account. I'll show you what that looks like from your side of things. Again, I'm going to do the same process of before. Okay. And it looks the same. You can still see the PSI. I'll show you it from this side. You can't obviously change anything because it's already been submitted, but you can view it this way if you prefer to look at it that way, or download it like I showed you before. And then you can jump straight into the journal entry and review it. So from your side of things, you can't make any changes right away because it's already been completed by the prosecutor. But if you're seeing something like, say, the criminal history is wrong on the journal entry, you can click make an edit and this tab pops up. So it's letting you know that you're making an edit. So you're not accidentally making an edit that you didn't want to make. You click on the question and it's going to pop up what edited, what part do you want to change. So I'm going to change it to, it's a criminal history D. The prosecutor got that wrong. You've clicked submit change. It's not submitting it through yet. It's just for that one question, submitting change. Nothing will go through until you hit this white submit change button, and it'll have you, it's a whole process. It won't automatically send it through. And let's say also that it's a person felony. Submit that change. And if I'm satisfied with the rest of it, I've reviewed the rest of it, it all looks fine, I'm going to go ahead and submit changes through. One thing I do want to mention is I'm not an attorney, but I've heard that, and Scott said, and my previous supervisor has stated that an attorney will sometimes fill in for another at a sentencing hearing if they're not able to make it, or say that an attorney has left the firm and you're filling in at the sentencing hearing. It's a super easy fix to make. The prosecutor, and we've told them this as well, this is a relatively new change. They can go into, or even the defense counsel you're filling in for, if they're still around and they're able to, they can hop into this journal entry before the sentencing hearing. And well, now it's not going to let me because I'm making changes. We'll cancel that. And we'll go back and do it. You can click in, well, it did before. I just tried this. It's probably because I'm making an edit. I'll show you on the prosecutor side after I make these edits. And I'll show you how it is an easy fix to make, but you have to do it on the prosecutor side while you're editing. We'll go ahead and make these changes and submit it through. So again, you're submitting changes through that you're not satisfied with the journal entry. Some things were wrong. You're going to go ahead and submit it. Test PFN is my defense counsel account. I'm going to submit it through. maybe I want to say criminal history incorrect to let them know, hey, this was wrong. They're a D criminal history. Submit. And it's going to insert your signature block into that journal entry. Once it downloads, I'll show you how that signature block looks. It'll have the prosecutor's signature, and now, well, it won't have yours yet, but I'll show you the prosecutor signature block and how that looks in this new form. So here's the signatures right here. This is where they'll pop up. Nothing is signed yet because you've submitted changes back to the prosecutor. I'm going to hop back out of my defense counsel account and into my prosecutor account. Showing you from all roles is a little tedious, but it's the best way to do it so you can see all sides. Okay, so now you can see it's back in progress by the prosecutor because the defense counsel has sent it back to prosecutor. And click back into that journal entry. And on this content side, you're going to see which portions of the journal entry the defense counsel made edits to. So you can see that they've made an edit back to criminal history D. And if you agree with it, you can click accept edited or use original. If you decide to use original, if they decide to use original and send it back to the defense counsel, you can certainly, as defense counsel, say, nope, it's D, still hit an edit change and send it back to the prosecutor like I showed you before. Um, my past supervisor has said that you could save time just by giving the office a call and maybe clear some things up. But DOMA will let you make as many changes, send it back and forth as many times as possible. So if that's your prerogative, that is totally fine, completely up to you. I'm going to go ahead for purposes of this webinar. I'm just going to confirm selection. As prosecutor, I'm going to review it again if I would like to. Let's see if it works this time. Yep. Okay, so now on the prosecutor side, if they see that, okay, if they've heard, if they're at the sentencing hearing and defense counsel comes up, says it's assigned to me, but Scott is filling in for me at the sentencing hearing, prosecutor can go into that and change it to the right defense counsel. And that's easy. Now it's up to Scott's account and he can log in and view that journal entry and edit changes or do whatever, send it back and forth, do exactly what I just showed you, but on his behalf now. Super easy change to make just at this signer's box. And that's a relatively new change we've made with Domo from feedback from CSOs because they were having issues with that.
And
Sorry, go ahead.
I'll get a notification then by email that
Mhm.
this has happened. Okay.
Yep. Okay, so as prosecutor, I'm going to go ahead and send this through. Looks good to me. Submit. Okay, now I'm going to jump back into my defense count. Looks the same as it will before. Type in the same case number. Okay, back in progress by me because they accepted the change. Now I need to sign it. I'm going to review it one more time. It all looks good. Sure, they changed criminal history. They were fine with that. They made a mistake. I'm going to submit it. Signature block, submit. All right, so now it's in progress by my judge account. So it's been sent to the judge and it's finished on your end, unless the judge decides to send edits back to the attorneys, which is possible. And I'll pull this up to show you that signature block. So you can see it's been signed by the prosecuting attorney after sending those edits back. It shows you the date, phone number if you need to get in contact, bar number, all that good stuff. Same with my defense counsel account. And then once the judge decides Oh, nope. Once the judge decides that it's all good, it's been approved, that will also save their electronic signature and it'll be ready to file. And you file that by downloading those forms. Again, you can do confidential or public on either. And then once the judge signs that, it'll automatically pop up with the revocation journal entry as well. So it automatically populates that. Click into it. The prosecutor can fill that out just as I showed you before, but in the PVJE as well. Let me make sure I covered everything I wanted to tell and show.
And while you're still on that, Peyton, I wanted to let those folks know too. Um, we have built a lot of logic into this. It isn't just filling in the all of these blanks and everything else. There's a lot of logic that goes in here, which will hopefully reduce the amount of error. Part of that was that we have human entry at one point and everything else then goes through versus having multiple points of potential human intervention. And so we built a lot of logic in that doesn't allow certain things to happen if the presumptive probation or a presumptive prison or drug cases that are person crimes that aren't. There's logic that's actually been built in the background as well, so that hopefully there'll be even less error than there was on normal hard copy journal entries. I will, as a caveat, tell you that part of early on, we have baked in Rule 170 into this as well. So, which obviously is something that Defense Counsel has to be aware of, and that so it's incumbent upon counsel to make sure that you're checking your email to make sure that you're getting the notices and everything else. I know that although we operate off the same Supreme Court rule, different jurisdictions have potential local rules that do it differently as far as how those things are filed and the administration of those by however the chief judges in those particular districts do it. Your mileage may vary, obviously, on that, but keep in mind we do have that set up so that it will set for the statutory time period if that is actually indicated in the journal entry. So just be mindful of that. It obviously helps everybody keep on. Our hope is that the electronic signature module allows for easier case management for you, so you don't have to worry about that particular situation. So, but just be mindful that Rule 170 has been included in the KSApp.
I just got an email too the other day that a CSO was using the incorrect PSI form this whole time by offense date. So and they were saying, well, I need to use this form. Can I change it in Domo? And to make sure that none of that is happening, Domo doesn't let you change any of the forms. It's by offense date, so it'll always pull up the correct form by offense date. So there's human error taken out of that portion as well.
We have journal entries that have been developed that go clear back to 2015 or 2016. So that should catch most of your unless there's some type of cold case or something that, and in that case, you're going to be outside of the KSApp and you're going to have to go back to paper. If there are, we get from time to time, people are asking for, do you have any journal entries from 2005? We still have those, and they can be used. But as you know, they change based upon the offense date. And so when that PSI writer puts in the offense date in the PSI, it automatically selects the correct forms to use. So that should be done on the front end, and that shouldn't be a problem. But just be advised that we have built in year after year after year of forms because, as you know, they change. So
I think we have time for questions. That was everything I had to show on the KSApp's end.